Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us in this webinar series. Welcome to the International Scientific Webinar Series organized by Persatuan Pegawai Sains Malaysia. The first ISW marked on May 2023, and since then, this webinar series has featured various topics from various fields of science. I, Vidubala Balasekhar, will be the moderator for today's ISW webinar series entitled Healthcare Worker Burnout, Navigating the Silent Pandemic. First of all, I would like to introduce our guest speaker from Department of Psychiatry Hospital Segamat, Dr. Radiantu Akmara Razali. Dr. Radiantu Akmara Razali started her journey as a medical officer in Hospital Miri in year 2006. She continued her postgraduate studies in field of psychiatry in 2011 and was gazetted as psychiatrist in Hospital Segamat in 2016. Later in year 2017, she was appointed as the head of department for Department of Psychiatry and Mental Health, Hospital Segamat, and continued to be the HOD till June 2022. Her deep passion in community psychiatry led her to pursue subspecialty studies in community and rehabilitation psychiatry in July 2022 and successfully completed her subspecialty in June 2025. Dr. Radiantu has participated and presented in various psychiatry-related conferences. Besides, she also involved as technical member for guideline review on community mental health services in year 2022. Currently, she also serves as the member of Nation Psychiatry Association and Pertubuhan Amal Perubatan Ibnu Sina Malaysia. It is indeed a great honor that she is able to deliver a talk for today's session. Thank you very much, Doctor, for accepting our invitation. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Radiantu to deliver her talk. Over to you, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Vidu, for the kind introduction. Hello and Assalamualaikum to everyone. Thank you to the association for inviting me. Sorry, before that, can you all hear me? And how's the participants?
Yes,
They
Doctor.
can unmute themselves. Sure. Okay, so I'm sorry because I have some technical problem today. I can't go live with my using the laptops with some internet problem. So I'm using my handphone now, but yeah, the technical team will help me to share the screen and share the slide. So before I proceed, yeah, it's Monday evening, you know, we do, and the others. Can I know how many of the participants here are present today, and from where?
At the moment, we mark here about 101 of them.
All right. Can they talk or they can chat in our chat room?
Yes,
They can
yes.
type? Okay. So can I see whether what are their questions or whatever they did, like they type in or ask? It's not there, is it? I have to.
All still no questions yet.
Okay. I mean, yeah. So hopefully, if any questions or yeah, anything that we can have it like interactive and two ways discussion, because it's in the afternoon, and you know, I hope that I'm not talking alone here. So let's start, because I think we have probably about 1 hour. So we start first. Can the team next? All right, so I'm a community and rehabilitation psychiatrist from Hospital Segamat. A great honor for me to be here with all of you. So this is the outline of my topic today, which is understanding burnout first. I think it's not first time for us to hear this burnout, right? Vidu, are you burnout or not now? Or have you ever experienced or feel how burnout is?
I think we had a few times of experience on this burnout.
Yeah. I think here and there, probably most of us experienced burnout, but why do we talk about this, and how are we differentiating it from the other more serious illnesses, or depression, or other, is it a normal stress, or we are already at the level of burnout? Okay, so the dimension and the causes, prevalence, impact of this burnout to the personal, the institutional, and also to the patients, and the systemic impact. And next, we'll just cover a little bit on prevention strategies, the how we're going to navigate through this pandemic, and some conclusion. All right, next. So we'll have a check. Next slide. Let's have some check on the temperature. How many of you today in a good green temperature, or you are already in the yellow or red temperature? So can you all reply in the chat box?
Participants can actually reply in our chat box. So how you are feeling? So far for me it's like over the yellow zone, I would say.
Yeah, green is not, yeah, the day is not always green, right? So yellow is, yeah, a little bit busy, but probably well still. And how are the others? Are they okay or not to
Yeah,
listen with
most
us
of them
today?
so far they are answering yellow at this moment.
Yellow. Okay, good. So at least it's not red, and it's good that you know where or your level is, and how if you feeling today, and what is the, you can pick one of the emojis there. Is it worried, embarrassed, shy? Oh, I don't think it's shy. Probably a little bit angry with some issues, but you're still in the yellow zone. So it's important for us to know our level. And burnout is one of the things that we can also measure, and also I hope today we can cover a little bit so that everyone will know how is your level and how are you going to survive through this. Next. Okay, next slide. So actually, burnout is, yeah, the definition. It is actually a syndrome of it is work-related stress syndrome, usually associated with workplace or job-related stress. Okay, so it's defined as syndrome of emotional exhaustion, the depersonalization, and a sense of low personal accomplishment. So it's not simply about feeling, tired, or after a long shift, but it's a chronic state that will consume our energy, motivation, and ultimately our sense of purpose in daily activities. So the term was first coined in around 1970s by the psychologist Herbert Freudenberger. And because during that time they noticed the dedicated professionals, how those professionals over the time they lost their enthusiasm, they became detached, they felt ineffective over time. And later the Maslow refined the concept, defined of three components, and these three components is we use the MBI to measure Maslow burnout inventory. So if you all have ever heard of Mentari, you can go to mentari.moh.gov.my. We have there the screening for burnout and also other screening for mental health issues. So one of it is this MBI. Okay, next. So for us to understand burnout, these are the three components, and we can find it through the burnout inventory or screening questionnaire. Next. And to understand it is helpful to know how this burnout progress, and what is the cycle, the etiology behind it. And the Freudenbergers originally they state about 12 stage of burnout model, and later on they simplify into 5 stage, which is more frequently used. And basically it identified the progression from enthusiasm. You are ready, when you first appointed or get the appointment as to become a penjawat awam, or you are promoted in your department. So usually we'll start off with having very high enthusiasm, sometimes quite over realistic, and later on, over time it can become exhaustion. So we need to understand this and know how are we going to handle it. So next. So you all can pinch or zoom in your own your own handphone, right? So there's the burnout. This is about the 12 syndrome. Usually it start off with compulsion to prove with lot of enthusiasm, and later it can become you work a little bit harder, and sometimes neglecting your own needs. Later on, when you have conflicts, you start to displace your conflicts first, and then have some denial of what emerging problems is. When the problem continues and become more burnout, you have all these symptoms like withdrawal, behavioral changes, depersonalization, became cynical, you felt empty, and finally you come into the depressive stage. Okay, next. So, is it normal to have burnout, or it is a sign of weakness for any of us? So it's just like stress. We have this simplified 5 stages. If you see here the 5 stages, just like before. So the first stage is honeymoon, with full of enthusiasm, right? Then the stage 2 will have the onset of stress. If it's not managed properly, then probably some stagnation, and if it's not dealt properly, it will go to the next stage. It's proceed further to chronic stress and lots of frustration, regarding the workload, and also understaffing and many other issues and factors which we will cover later. And you'll come into the stage 4 of burnout, become apathy, lack of emotion. You just do the day-to-day activities without any, accomplishment or felt sense of happiness in your work. And finally, it will become, you will reach the stage of habitual burnout and eventually depression. So next. So actually, it's there is difference between stress and burnout. So usually it co-occurs together, and if you see in that 5 stages now, from onset of stress to chronic stress and later on burnout. So burnout is the later part of it if you're not managed properly. Emotional exhaustion will present, you feel drained and depleted. You are unable to master your daily activities and tasks. And depersonalization, the 3 triad just now, you'll become detached and feeling disconnected from your work and anyone around you probably, and reduce personal accomplishment, the ineffectiveness and unproductive. And probably you will question your abilities and contributions later on. So this stage of 5 stages, you can go through each one of it, from job satisfaction, where and accepting responsibility. You try to prove that you are okay and capable of doing the job given to you, and full of commitment. Later on, you will become, stressful, start to have inability to focus, probably some irritability, anxiety, headache, lack of social interaction, some sleep disturbances, which will proceed further into more procrastination, chronic exhaustion, denial of the real problems, or inability to manage the issues at workplace. And later, the stage 4 will have pessimistic outlook, start to have physical symptoms, headaches, GI problems, and escapist activities, and also behavioral changes. So finally, the stage 5, the chronic sadness, mental fatigue, physical, and depression. So these all comprise of burnout. So is it common to have it? I think, yeah, it's quite common. And 1 in 3 physicians, the studies across other fraternity is there also, but you can see it's around 20 to 50%. And global variability is because of due to lack of consensus. This is not a diagnostic criteria in our psychiatric illnesses, also not in the DSM-5, not in the ICD-10, but WHO recognized burnout is one of the a precursor to more serious mental illness. All right, next. So the studies varies, in terms of we talk about prevalence. So, and it is consistent across specialties and career of stages. It's around 20 to 50%. And even during the pandemic, that is actually larger. And it's larger numbers of people having burnouts, our healthcare workers. And this reflects global systemic concern. And that's why we are here now and we picked this topic today. All right, next. So what are the causes? I think there are a lot of causes if you want to talk about this. And basically, it's internal and external factors, the work related stresses and also factors, work-life imbalances, the dysfunctional environments, communication breakdowns, systemic pressures, and also interpersonal conflicts. Next slide. So you can see here the internal factors is the personal factors, probably some self-expectation. Those who are very perfectionist, is very high risk of becoming burnout and also having stress, and strong need for recognition, always wanting to please other people. These are all the internal factors, and suppressing your own needs. I mean, healthcare workers, we work sometimes to our limit, and pressure ourselves without considering your own mental health, your own needs, your own time for yourself. Okay, so this sometimes you have workaholic people, work is a substitute for the social life. So, and everything is just about lingers about just around your work. So I think it's very important for us to balance this between your work and your life, work and life balances, and also the environmental factors. Right. So the external factors is high demands at work. I mean, we know worldwide and even in our country, especially in healthcare setting, we have very, very, very high demands of work and increase of workloads, and also understaffing. These are worsened by all these problems in the leadership, the time pressure, and we are talking now about workplace bullying and bad atmosphere, toxic environment, lack of freedom to make decisions, all these organizational influence, the biases, and few opportunities to participate, hierarchical problems, administrative conflict, and all the whole list of this. So what are we going to do, and how are we going to go through all this with all the factors that are listed here, right? So I think the first and foremost thing is we really have to the mental health stigma. Really have to get rid of stigma towards mental health and getting help in terms of your own mental well-being. All right. So thank you to Vidu to accept and inviting me for psychiatric topic. I asked Vidu usually what are the topics discussed, and she let me decide about the topics. And I think, yeah, burnout is one of the things that we need to talk about and reduce the stigma around it. And you can come forward to get help, to get some counseling, and to know about your level. And this will ensure more productivity later on in our daily task. Next. All right. So any one of us want to know and want to recap how is your condition of mental health well-being during burnout? I think most of us don't want that to be happen to the time to rewind or to happen again. We do, right? How are you during the COVID-19 last time?
Yeah, actually, COVID was stressful, but I would
Very
say
disaster,
that
right?
it doesn't made any difference for the healthcare workers. You know why? Because
Exactly.
we were still going to work as usual, and our workload has actually increased during.
Double, triple, right?
Yeah,
Yes. And what happened
exactly.
to our own well-being, our own family members we left at home, right? So that is
Yeah.
really very stressful, and also, yeah, it's very conflicting to us. We are the frontliner, but at the same time, we have to maintain our mental health, our physical health, and on top of all the anxieties that everyone is having about COVID-19, right? So the symptoms
Mm.
of exhaustion, very low accomplishment, and the pandemic really highlighted the burnout as occupational hazard. And next, even the risk factors during that time, all those younger age with less experience have to work long hours, and with the PPE, very hot, and the PPE shortage, and you're exposing to risk of infection. And I'm sure those in the medical lab, our lab staff, right? All very your on calls day and night to see all the results. And I mean, it's we really can during our time in COVID last time, our department have to do the mental health support to most of the departments, and one of it, I think the stressful one, is from the pathology lab and the medical laboratory. So I can really understand and also feel how the pressure that they feel, and also the burnout, the exhaustion that all you guys, I mean, experience. And despite the infection fears, and the stigma, and the expectations from the higher authority and others, and also even the public and ministry level. So I think it is really a bad experience for all of us, but hopefully it really bounces us back to become more resilient on managing our own mental health. When we face post-pandemic nowadays, hopefully we are more, we have that bad experience in mind, yeah, but we can manage to go through it. So hopefully we can maintain and continue our mental health management until now. All right. So yeah. So we move to next one. So the impacts of burnout. So I think hopefully you all understand already what that we have go through about the burnout, and also probably if you want to ask me the differences between burnout, stress, and also depression. So depression is actually the final result if all this stress and burnout was not managed properly. All right. So we go to do these impacts. The impact in terms of personal, professional, and also systemic impact. So next slide. Okay, individually, when we talk about this, those people who did not manage their stress level and also experiencing burnout will have problems with uh, physical, emotional, and also psychosocial issues. So when we are not managed properly, you can ended up having substance abuse, or probably you take you smoke more, taking alcohol, and maybe indulge in other risk-taking behavior, including substances. I think the substance related also it's quite increasing nowadays, and especially those the newer drugs, which is also among the professionals, are really like involved, and if I can tell it, I mean, if I can say here, the methamphetamine, all the novel newer drugs as stimulants. When we become exhausted, we need some stimulant, and these easily available ice, methamphetamines in terms of ice and smoking ice. Can becoming one of the popular also way of escapism, and also coping mechanism for those professionals. So this is one of the impacts of burnout if it's not managed properly. And next is the mental health issues, anxiety, depression, and the most unwanted, I think, risk of suicidal. Apart from that, our cardiovascular strain, GI issues, and sleep disruption, all these physical symptoms also is very commonly associated when people having burnout. And eventually, when you have problems with this, all the physical, emotional issues, you can have problem also in terms of your relationship, and also our role in our social circle. Right? So next, we move on to the impacts in terms of our professionalism and also involving the patients and also our work. So if we can't really focus and having burnout issues, you will have reduced it can eventually cause reduced inpatient satisfaction and lower quality of care. More medical errors, when we can't really think, and also it's very physically very exhausted, on top of our also emotionally down. So it can cause the more serious issues, including malpractice risk and poorer patient outcomes. This will have problem in terms of the safety and care quality of our services. And in the study also they said that reduce provider vigilance as an impact to the professionals. All right. So next slide. So we know for the broader consequences, productivity-wise, one person having burnout or stress and not properly managed or get an intervention, it can reduce their morale and also lead to poorer patient outcomes and higher absenteeism. If you didn't come to work and probably need more MC, or probably if very stressful, you can't do all the on-calls, probably you just MIA, missing from the missing in action from the your duty. So it is very risky, and also productivity wise, we need to really manage this burnout. Okay, in the hospital burden, higher staff turnover with increase of recruitment and training costs, causing institutional instability, and the cycle turns over and over again. So like higher staff turnover, doctors quitting and resigning from the government and local services, and also reduce of understaffing and manpower, so causing higher burnout again, and this cycles continues. So we don't want to have broader consequences like legal settlements with medical errors, which will cost money and also eroding the public trust onto our institutional system. And so that's very important that the higher um, administrative level of the mental health and also other medical fraternity to understand about this, so that we can prevent and ensure more productivity and mental well-being of our staff. Right? So I think we now go into the organizational and individual strategies. Having said that, we go through about all the impacts and also the symptoms, I think you can now reflect to yourselves, where am I now? So am I going to did I ever have severe burnout, or I need help now? And what are the things that as an individual I can do, and for those in administrative level, at the organizational level, what are the strategies that can be done? So this dual approach is required, both, it's from both sides, because the factors is also from internal and also from the external factors. So we have to balance this between the system level and the personal measures to make sure these issues of silent pandemic is really taken care of. Right, next. So as usual, for everything, for in medical line, prevention is the key word and is the most important things. And the early detection, the awareness, having all this training and education about all these mental health issues, recognition with all the screenings and preventing escalation for those staff that we know they have some red flags already, all the early symptoms are there. So we really have to do all this, recognize early, do some education and promoting the mental health, and also preventing escalation or progression into more serious mental illness issues, and also the supports for the well-being of our own staff. So this is the Mentari Malaysia website, mentari.moh.gov.my. So this in this website you can get all the information about the Mentari and our community mental health center. Community mental health center is we have around 40 plus Mentaris or community mental health center, which is located outside, usually outside of the hospital. If we have also even the Mentari operating in the mall, the first and the latest Mentari that we have is in UTC JB. Anyone from Johor Bahru here? So HSA JB has like among the youngest and also our babies for this Mentari in UTC JB. So we really in Mentari we are promoting early detection, screening, and also mental health promotion, and also we have rehabilitation there, to support those having problems, and we have also the occupational therapies activities done in Mentari. All right. So if any one of you have any problems, so early detection, you can go and screen just through the website, online screening, and also submit a request appointment. So if you are from the nearby Mentari in your district that is Mentari available, then you can have you can click there and get your appointment. So the staff will later contact you to give the date to see the doctor. So this is really an innovation from us, from the Department of Psychiatry in Ministry of Health, so that everyone of even our own staff and even the public can access to mental health services just by typing and also at your fingertips. So you don't need to bring any referral letter, to see us. And we really encourage and promoting this so that mental health is no more a stigma and taboo for everyone. Okay, so next. So the awareness promotion is very important to integrate the topic and discussion about burnout into the medical education, stress management, encouraging open dialogue, and put it in some of the tips and tricks in terms of navigating your job and your new career into the training modules. And hopefully it can be done also in peer support and discussions, like in the PFA trainings, in the department and the hospital level. All right, so next. So I'd like to proceed now into the key prevention strategies. Prevention and management is almost about the same. How we handle and also manage the issues if we already have some burnout symptoms, and how are we going to prevent this to happen for those with probably still in yellow level at the stress thermometer just now. So it's important to have these prevention strategies, which I conclude into three segments, which is first one is personal wise, the personal work-life balance factors, the 5R and 5S. And also we need to have some flexibility and also probably issues of childcare to ensure the work-life balance. One of the stresses during the COVID pandemic also, our staff, our healthcare professionals working at the front line, extra shift and also extra duty on calls. So we left our children behind. There is no childcare open up. Taska, Tadika all closed during pandemic also, right? And sometimes you are working there in a district which is far from your own family members, and the apa tu PKP time our you cannot try go across the country, cross district, right? Cannot travel between the district available. So all these cause problems to us in healthcare workers. I think we have to leave. There are our staff, when we talk about this, they have to leave the children at home without no one taking care of, and I don't know whether they eat or not, but we are the ones still have to be in the hospital to serve for the community and for the patients. So childcare is a very important issues, and work-life balance is also the main, I think one of the most important thing that we need to discuss about. Okay, next is organizational, in terms of how is the organizational giving the autonomy and resources, and also the supportive culture, whether you can create that in your institution or your department. So this is also as important to ensure that there is no one in our department or our hospital having burnout, or more seriously to become depressed, or any other mental health issues, right? So the prevention strategies or the management that will be done also is, the third one is in terms of the clinical intervention. This is the cognitive behavioral therapy, psychotherapies, and medications as needed. I think this one is, I mean, the psychiatrist and or even the counselor or clinical psychologist will do this part. Okay, so let's move to the first part, which is the work-life balance, the 5R and 5S. Video, are you still there? 5R?
Yes, yes, yeah, on this.
Yes, okay. So this, I think, yeah, this is all important. So at least if you get nothing from my talk today, at least you have the 5R and 5S. It's very important to at least to manage our own self and have some self-compassion. And also the R is for us to reflect on our condition day to day and our work environment. Are we too much work oriented and workaholic, and dismissing other parts of our life, as our balanced life? And next one is recharge. Here we always listen hear about all this me time, go and heal yourself. So this is part of the recharge thingy. When you have just imagine like our handphone, if you don't charge, then you'll have lots of problems and you can't even do your work and become disconnected. So we really have to recharge ourselves after a very busy day, a very busy, sometimes events or projects that we need to do. And once we accomplish that, so give some probably rewards and recharge for your own, your own self, right? So what we can do, recharge, we do usually, what will you do if you want to recharge yourself? There are lots of things, right, we can do. So
Recharge,
maybe, yeah.
watching a movie probably,
Yeah,
or
okay.
just hang out with my cats. That's what I
Ah,
usually do.
okay. So your pets, that's very good. Yeah, a very good option. So we can ask our audience here, how do you recharge yourself? Probably you can answer in the chat box.
Yeah,
As simple as, yeah, talking to the cats, sometimes talking to your dogs, and also probably going out, do things that you rarely do, right? Go for a massage, treat yourself with some
some say they go for a sport like badminton.
sports, very
One person,
good. Yeah.
one person said they will see their lovely wife. Wow, that's
Ah,
nice of them.
lovely wife. Yeah, that's every day you have to see. If you can't, that will come to the next one, which is the reconnect. If you leave, probably, long distance relationship, you're like PJJ, you still have to try to reconnect and talk, see via your video call and whatnot, just like how we do that during our pandemic time, right? Still, if we can't travel, we still like have to call and have some connection. So the social connection, and also apart from the physical connection, is also important. So anything else that
Yeah,
our audience here do?
yeah,
How do we
they
recharge us?
just go out cooking and also fishing,
Cooking. But please
going
don't
hanging out with
eating too much,
friends.
because
Yes.
overeating, then you will become stressed also after that. Okay, so yeah, so reach out. Next is we go to reach out. So we reaching out is not a symbol or signal of, your weakness or you are a loser in life. So this is very a myth, and taboo that is related to reaching out and getting some mental health professionals help, seeing a psychiatrist. Sometimes they will go, gila ke kan, ini mesti ada mental. So it's just like mental, or you're not good enough, and you will be like blacklisted, or you become downgrade in your professions and whatnot. So I think it's not as that. So we have to be very, now we are like very openly talking about mental health and breaking the stigma. So please reach out to others, and we don't have all these like reporting your issues to your superiors there and then. No, we have this as a professional in mental health. We really have this confidentiality, ethics, and not to disclose any of the informations regarding our clients who come to see us. So we really have to we really want to support all our clients and our even our own staff, who experience this burnout, because this burnout is real. There are lots of factors that can contribute to it, and it is preventable. That is the more important thing. So it is preventable in terms of your how you cope with your own this 5R, 5S, and addressing all the issues related to the workplace. Is it related to your colleagues? Is it because of the burnout of the workload related, right? And also, is it the toxic person inside? So all these interpersonal issues we can try to address and discuss so that you are not labeled to become all these mentally ill clients. Okay. So the fourth R is restructure. So sometimes restructuring our daily routines, our activities, when you are too overwhelmed. So sometimes you just have to take a break and take a step back. And sometimes probably you need to manage your time better if you have more work to do and more tasks during that period of time, right? So restructuring, it involves your skills of problem solving, skills in terms of time management and managing others, dealing with conflicts, and also delegating tasks, right? So the final R is reconnect. So this one we talked just now. We have talked about this. So become reconnecting with people around us, those significant emotional support among our close friends and persons. That is also as important. So the next one is 5S for self-compassion. Recently I talked about burnout also in one of other webinars. During that time, the moderator asked me about how to balance between those, those are very workaholic and also don't want to take leave. You really have to work overwork and causing and did not have self-compassion, probably because you worried of being labeled. Why am I taking leave? Even there are doctors who don't want to take leave, even though they have that privilege, or also, there are lots of leave. They have many leaves, but they don't want to take it because they feel guilty to take leave and burdening the others. So I think this is where we need to balance, between the self-compassion and also our responsibility. We do have all this sometimes the hazard leave, the annual leave, right? And just take it properly and discuss with your other colleagues, and use that time to do all the 5R, right? So that are the time that we have, and schedule your leave also with your partner, with your family members, so to spend some time with them. So that is very important. So we are not just planning our work and tasks, but also plan our leave and also time with our families and your loved ones, right? So the self-compassion is also include this self-awareness. What I mean here is you are aware of your condition. We know we are at red flag already, is yellow reaching to red, and what should I do? So you have to put all the strategies inside to manage your level of stress or burnout, right? So next is setting the boundaries. I think this is also very important because sometimes, when we work in a group of people in an organization, there are people who sometimes stepping onto our boundaries or over our boundaries. So we really you have to say, yeah, this is the limit. I think this is not my task or my job scope. I'm so sorry. I would love to help, but I also have things to go about and to settle, something like that. So this setting boundaries, it involves lots of assertiveness, and communication skills with the organization and also the other colleagues and even our supervisor or seniors, right? So next is self-talk, and make sure it is a positive one. You know, there are a lot of people that have this negative self-talk or monologue. So always like downgrading your own self. So I really hope that after this, you try to see what are the monologue or the self-talk that usually sometimes it comes spontaneously in your brain, in your own self, you know. Some of it is like, yeah, I shouldn't be doing this. I am, I have to do this because of this. So I shouldn't take leave. Uh, I am burdening the others. So all this is quite negative. So you have to substitute or replace it with more positive ones. So it's okay. I'm going to have I need to take care of my own mental health. I need to be I need to have rest and me time. So everyone have their own, you know, up and down. So now it's time for me. So all this positive self-talking is a practice, and you need to know when you should use that, right? So the next is soothing, SOOTHE, which is the relaxation, how to you soothe yourself and not pressuring your own self to a certain limit of time, especially if you have all the symptoms of burnout already, right? And last one is the support system, just to make sure you know where to get help, who are the one available for you to get support when you are at the lowest point, or you're at the uh, bridging or into the rate level of stress. Okay, so these are the 5R and 5S. So can we move to the next one? We have probably around 50 minutes. All right, so yeah, the 5R and the scheduling, make sure some flexibility in terms of your schedule and childcare support for irregular hours. So I think this one, managing all this related to your child and also the families related things and also activities is also as important, right? So next. So we move to the organizational interventions. Burnout is actually as a systemic issue. So we really need a good leadership to back all the initiatives in terms of the promoting mental health well-being in our organization. And how about the workload and schedule, redesigning the schedule and also the needs of all the staff in the organization. And as an administrator or the head of departments or supervisors, please do continuous monitoring and promote the autonomy of our client, of our staff, and educate resources to staff support. Make sure you know where to refer, when to refer, what are the resources available to support our mental health for our staff. Right? Next. So hopefully there is no toxic culture in our department or our institution, and involve everyone in decisions. There is no bias or control, this control over schedule. And also we hope that the institutional support system is well in place, and you can do a lot of things such as the stress management workshops, offer the counseling services, and work-life integration adjustment for those having issues with their probably personal issues. Right, next. So the therapeutic interventions wise, in terms of clinical intervention that we can offer is psychotherapy for severe burnout, and also the cognitive behavioral therapy, stress management, music therapy, and other things. If it's too serious and severe, we can even, with some depressive symptoms, probably we'll have to start on antidepressant. Right, that's, oh, I think we just here on time. Next slide. So yeah, as a conclusion, burnout is it is widespread. It is silently become a pandemic and can be harmful and dangerous. especially to your mental health and also the systemic system of the environment and your organization. And the causes are multifactorial. In early intervention is very critical. It is preventable, and it requires multi-level interventions from the individual system, the organization, or and also the institutional revamp. And the commitment is also required. So even though it's common and also can cause harmful effects, I think the solutions are there and it's preventable. Recovery is also possible. So solving burnout is not about fixing broken people or system. So we have our healthcare workers are among the most dedicated and compassionate members of our society. So the sustainability of healthcare systems must value the rest of the staff, the support the humanity as much as they should do that. And I think we hope that our healthcare professionals are being respected and supported and also become energized and can have good, the best productivity that they can serve to the services and also the national environment. All right. So with that, I think I end my presentation and pass back to, thank you very much. Pass back to
Thank
you,
you so much,
Radu. Yeah.
Dr. Radia. Thank you so much for the enlightening talk, I would say, because burnout is something that we need to address very quickly and very carefully, actually, because burnout can turn out to be anything in these healthcare workers. Because what to say, the healthcare workers sometimes can turn into a monster if the burnout becomes worse, I would say. So
What do you mean by turn out to become a monster?
yeah, like they might try to harm the patients. Who knows, right? We wouldn't know. It can,
Unintentionally, right? Because of
yes,
exhaustion.
unintentionally.
Yeah.
So
Probably some neglect and also medical errors. Yes,
yes.
exactly.
So because we would say like medical workers, healthcare workers are most dangerous ones among all the professions around the world because you
Yeah.
are dealing with lives.
Directly with the patients. Yeah. We're giving drugs and also dealing with all the laboratory investigation as well.
So
Yeah.
actually, this burnout issue actually came crop up, or it's really portrayed, or it was really shown out when during the pandemic of the COVID. So during that time, is only then they realized, oh, healthcare workers are actually burnt out to this level. So
Exactly.
okay, I would say there are two questions here. One is, I think it's the opinion from
Uh-huh.
Key. They say burnout when trying to manage several things at once at workplace and also due to shortage as well.
Exactly.
So what do you think, doctor?
Yeah, exactly. I think when we talk about environmental factors or the external factors, it is true. I mean, it is a reality and it is happening in our system, right? So I think that is why it's very important for us to know and manage our own emotional and also red flags or symptoms. You know, that is the early prevention and early detection. So because there are things that we can't, it is out of our control. I mean, we can't change much, right? Do you agree? So if it is about shortage of staff, so how many times the ministry have said, yeah, we try to enroll more. The JP also say here and there, but still, like doctors also, the burnout among us is very high, right? I think it's about the same for across all the other professions in healthcare setting. So we, if it is because of the workload and it's because of the shortage of staff, it will be there. I don't know where when it can become. I mean, can find the real solution for that. But what we can do, so we have to focus into what the things within our control, or the things that we can change. The environment, creating the healthy, the happy environment at work. You know, even though you have a lot of workload, you have a lot of stress, but we can still go to work happily. You know, get some makan-makan, and proper communication. Boss please don't be too strict or stringent to your superior, uh, the staff, right? So these are the things that can help to create nurturing the good environment at work. I think that is also important to handle this, because sometimes when we talk about burnout at workplace, the workplace, there are things that we can't do much. But if you are at the administrative level, you are at the management level, and also with some power to do here and there, so you can do some activities to promote in terms of well-being, reducing the stress, and do some treat your staff with good things, go some into some vacation, plan things to do in the department. So there are the things that we do also during the pandemic time, right? So I think if we talk about this, so please bear in mind, there are things we try to focus on, things that we can change, and that the things that we can modify and create our own good environment at work, because there are things that we can't do much.
Correct. Okay, there's a one question, Doctor, from Juan. I'm not sure it's the Mr. Juan or Miss Juan. Salam, Doctor. I think many of us also struggle with guilt when work responsibilities conflict with family needs. For example, when our child is unwell but duty still calls, how can we cope with these feelings? I think
Yeah.
most of us have this issue.
Exactly. So I think the first thing is, yeah, we acknowledge that we have that feeling and it is normal. Don't feel guilty. Any moms, anybody, who loves their family will feel this. But because of our responsibility, we still need to go to work, or probably you can't find any substitute or replacing person to cover your work. Then that one I think we can discuss with your other colleagues, and also your bosses, I mean your superiors. So because sometimes if it is allowed for you to have some to bring your kids, is it available? Or probably if you can try to change your schedule, or also probably reduce it from you have to work 8 hours to probably 4 hours, and change with and discuss with other colleagues. So I think there are the things that the assertiveness, and also how are we going to cope and manage when the issues arise, and that workplace issues uh, have impact on our family members, or family roles. Yeah. So another thing, that's why when I talk about the support system, so we at this point, I think we already have to have all the contingency plan in place. I mean, your keselamatan, your second plan B plan, plan C, if anything happen, I have to go to work, I have been called or whatnot. So sometimes, in terms of childcare and your sick babies, if you can take care, so is it you can arrange for anybody to take care at your home, or send back to the family or parents and things like that. But I do understand sometimes we are stuck, no one to take care. You have to just yeah, just let your baby sick go to the school, and sometimes you just have to decline or say no to all the tasks given to you, and also have to really decide which one is the most priority and most important during that time. Not all of us will have the privilege of working husband or spouse that can work and be there to present, and take care of our sick babies, right, during the difficult, or the time it needs. Yeah. So try as much, have some plans, and if you really can't do that, so I hope that you can highlight that one and discuss with your supervisors in terms of whether exemption from any duties at night for temporary time, until you come out with some more solid plans. I think hopefully that answers and gives something. The guilt feeling will still be there, but you try your best, and you show it that you are, yeah, I am doing my best to handle all this, and at the same time balancing my responsibility. At the same time, I know I have my kids at home, and that is also very important in our life, right?
Mm. Exactly. Okay, Doctor. Actually, there is one response saying that
Yeah.
we are given the flexi time for coming in and going out from the work
Okay.
in our service, civil service. But see, there is one person from a lab saying that since last year we are not allowed to work flexi hour.
Oh, I
Itu pun
see.
memang kepada stress cause I have to rush hantar anak sekolah
Oh,
pagi-pagi dan punch card lagi. So how
oh,
this?
is it? All right. So I think, yeah, that's what when I said about when I pointed just now about the flexibility in terms of the organizational, also flexibility and scheduling. Yeah, it is one of the things. So as much as possible, try to discuss with your, yeah, the higher level authority in this, probably the head of department, or even the administrative, the pengurusan, about your kelayakan untuk flexi hours ini. And I think if you need to apply, then you just apply for yourself because you have some problems, especially if it is not modifiable. You have done the best, but you still cannot do that. If because and it depends on the dynamic of the organization or your department also. Probably some of them, if you can show that you can, all the works can be done within your stipulated times of work, right? I think supposedly there are some flexibility of probably the understanding from your bosses or superiors, and to justify that, I mean, you have to probably discuss also with your other colleagues. Probably the others will come earlier and go back later, or come uh, check in, or how you call it, punch in earlier and also go back earlier. There are others who will come back later and punch out later. So the work is covered. If you can like show that, discuss properly, yeah, maybe we hope that there can be some consideration. They can become more open into a discussion about all these flexi hours. It is yeah, probably it is a option. It is an option for us, but it still depends on the sokongan and also this head of departments lah usually, right? So I hope you can discuss properly and try to also like justify yourself better. So hopefully they can also consider this because of all the burnout issues and all the related to your family's arrangement, right? So hopefully that can be settled.
Okay. Doctor, there is another question from Miss Nasrul, I think.
Mm.
Some say young workforce mengada. To what extent is this true? I
Where
think
is it? Young work?
it's kind of like very childish, or I would say mengada-ngada. Dia orang cakap macam tu lah. Workforce, young workforce, yang generasi
Oh,
muda ni, we call it
young
Z,
workforce,
Gen
mengada-ngada,
Z or
strawberry
Gen Alpha.
generation.
Yes.
So,
They are
what question?
that, how to
What
say,
are
they
your
are saying
comment?
Gen Z or the Gen Alpha ni, they are not so much resilient compared to the Y2, Gen Y or Gen.
Exactly. Yeah,
They
baby
are,
boomers and Gen Z. Yeah,
yes.
millennium. Yeah. So, what's the question?
So
What's
they
my
are asking,
comment?
is it true that these young generations actually they are not resilient or resistant to the burnout or the workplace stress?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent that it is true. Even for us, for as not because we are more seniors, but we can see that trend in terms of the resilience of the younger generations. I'm not sure what are the most like contributing factors. I think they have studies in this, the resilience among the generation, the younger generation or Gen Alpha thingy, because it is multifactorial why they become like that. Is it because their exposures and their stress related, and how their upbringing, also their generation, their time of growing is very different from us. The hardship is different as well. So I think it's also probably contributed also by the upbringing and also the way the parenting, how we parent them. Those parents from the earlier generation, when you parent the younger generation, you don't want them to experience what you feel, what we gone through before. We want to be the best, but probably it's not the best for their time. and for their own, resilience, and also all this uh, mental health, to undergo through all these mental health challenges. So to a certain point of, I mean, to a certain extent, it's I think I agree with that. But yeah, at the same time, it's never too late. I mean, they are still like open to, they can still be, we can still entertain them, we can still nurture and also train them, and also have an open discussion with all these younger generations, because they are based on facts. They don't want to all this long, conversations. They're very factual and things, and be straightforward to them. And with that, if you can discuss proper, and they can even, probably they can understand better and serve better. But in terms of the uh, bergada-gada, sometimes here cannot, this one cannot. There are lots of factors contributing to that, and probably they don't want, even they live in a life yang very easy one. They don't know how the hardness of things to get things also. And yeah, you become doctor, you can become a government servant, I can become influencer. So what's the issue? And it's true also, they can make a lot of money for those with probably talent in that, but not everyone, right? So I think there are other things that contribute also to all this. Yeah. So what do you all think? So for the one asking, any problems, or you think it's not true, or you're against that?
Yeah, Ms. Nasro can respond in the chat. So while waiting for the response, there is another question. They said, I think Mr. Rabani here. Hi, doctor. I selalu dengar people say toxic environment can lead to emotional drain. What is the definition of toxic environment and how to handle the condition? Is it coming from other people or sebenarnya diri sendiri yang produce toxic? Wow.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Rabani, eh. I think toxic environment, I mean, actually, if you ask me, we don't even learn about what toxic environment is in our study time. I mean, it's not in our syllabus, but all these terms are the netizens, it's all from I mean, it's from our community, from the netizens, and coin all these terms, like toxic environment, and it's probably some psychological background, they have these terms, but it's not from us, psychiatrists or doctors. But we understand that I think in terms of when you talk about toxic environment, it can be both. It can come from, I mean, an individual in the organization, the other the people surrounding it, and even from the system can cause a toxic environment. So it can, the problems comes from all level. So it can comes from all level. So it's not as simple as, okay, this is toxic, this is toxic. No definite definition. I mean, definite. What is the meaning of, what is the criteria of toxic environment? Even for some, if they tell it, okay, this is toxic, basically causing stress, very inconsiderate, probably having some issues, the bias, I mean, some problems in terms of the hierarchy and things like that, related to the power involved in all this toxic environment thingy. But I think it is important to know and acknowledge there are problems in the environment or the working place, issues, related environment, and where did it come from? So we have to really go back into that. So probably it comes from the environment, but later on the individual also react with some certain ways, and then probably some personalities in our department or our group is not that, not that healthy, and personality, or also individuals there. So with lots of factors like this, I think later on the normal people also can become retaliated, or probably become more monster. They have to take action, like, oh well, you can do like that, I want to do like that also. So it's really, like, it's like macam, okay, it's vicious, and uh, power struggle in between both two or three parties involved in that. So it is very complex. So I think that explain the toxic word, and we hope that the toxic, we don't like simply like to label here is toxic, here is toxic. And sometimes, you know, if it is not even toxic, because of the person or the few individuals inside that, people, if you go into that group, the one person, a fresh person, individuals come into that group, but you have some prejudgmental thing you heard about, oh, this is toxic, that department is toxic. When you go inside there, you have some, you know, judgmental view already. So that can also contribute to, yeah, that is toxic, but it's not really probably true or existing things. So I think when we ask about whether it's toxic or not, go back to what are the problems, what are the real main issues, and it comes from what are the factors, whether it's individual, whether it's a few more individuals or group of people in that environment, or is it because of the system structure itself that contribute to that? So the question is, how are we going to deal with that? So we go back to that, the cause, and you go when we want to counsel our patients or clients who come to us with, you know, I live in a toxic environment. Usually I will go into the what you can control, what you can't control. Sometimes the system can still be changed. You know, they are doing things really you don't allow to take leave. I mean, things which are against the rules of the organization itself, which is not supposed to be so. So that one you can like, you are supposed to do things, then you have to do some correction, amendment, or you report to the higher most the authority that is available. So there are things that we need to take action in terms of administration, and also at the same time, if everything is like okay, but it's because of your emotional, interpersonal between two or three people's become toxic. So we go back into how are you going to manage, how are you going to be more assertive, how are you going to communicate with all these sort of people, and become what are within your control that you can change, probably your mindset, your view of people, and your coping mechanism. Yeah. So hopefully that answers, Mr. Ramadi. Just that I think it's important for us, if we are at the HOD or administration or the bosses level, and also the management level, uh, ask around your colleagues, your juniors, what are they experiencing? Are there any toxic things that happen behind, behind your knowledge, out of your knowledge? Because sometimes they are the one experiencing and not us. In front of the bosses, everything will like, you portray yourself, everything is good. Everyone is probably, yeah, probably like struggling, and also wanted to show they are the best in the team, probably, so we as the higher level, and also at the business level, have to be very careful and also tactful in terms of this, and you have to analyze the situation in your own department, or your work environment. So by doing that, you'll be, you are doing justice for all, and also make sure those are which action you need to take, then you have to manage it administratively and also fairly to everyone. Yeah. Hopefully that answers.
Yeah, sure, Doctor. Actually, when we talk about burnout, it's a very broad and vast topic. But one thing to ask before we end, I think, because there's no more question, just to end this our session. Before that, I would just like to ask, does the technology actually helps to make our life easier, or actually it is one of the risk factors that cause burnout?
Oh, okay. So I think in terms of technology, if you are talking about like internet, all the AIs or all the apps, yeah, it is yeah, there is the pro and cons, right? In this, if you are too indulged or too addicted to internet or things like that, you spend your time and you become also probably burnout and exhausted because of digital exhaustion, and also causing stressful also, which sometimes you need to just keep away all the devices, and to reduce all the stresses and pressures from the internet, comparing with others and things like that. So at the same time, technology is also, they have the good things, you know, the innovations in terms of supporting mental health, which has been like well established and designed. We have a lot of digital or mental health applications that we can use and search around, you know, to navigate ourselves in terms of when you are having stressful condition, applications to monitor your mood. We have lots of websites also and technologies that can help us in terms of even the brain gym, the mood gym. There are even a few other things that we can do that. And recently, I found that, you know, AI is the Chat GPT can quite sound companion, can become a sound companion to us. And some of the patients, they said, yeah, at least I can talk to ChatGPT. And I said, wow, so is what are the content they answer you? So yeah, he or she, the ChatGPT is answering a good thing, will give advice. How am I going to cope with this sort of people? Is that this stress environment? And when I'm lonely, that I can talk to him, and also he will answer, and you know, becoming sort of a company and a friend with ChatGPT. But I say, okay, so if that's okay, then okay, yeah, you can talk. And I even, you know, some of the questions my patients ask me, okay, why not we just go into ChatGPT? So, and we go together. I think the answer is quite good. It's because it is like yeah, mental health literacy is quite good for this ChatGPT. Probably the references is still taken care, and it is very good and legit references. I think if you want, you can really ask us how to use ChatGPT to help in terms of handling your issues, managing people, environments, stressful, toxic environments, and things like that. But it's probably, it can be like very dry. You know, it's not, no human touch and no specific examples. That's why you still need to, if you need to reach out and talk to people, real people, and also those trusted people with probably mental health professionals around you. Okay, so balancing it, the pro and cons, the benefits, and also probably some harmful effects of these technologies is very important, and use it wisely. Yeah.
I think that's all for today's webinar, Doctor. I think we had a good discussion on this burnout, and I hope our participants also have benefited from what you have pointed out in your slides today. So with that, I will end this webinar session, and thank you to our speaker, Dr. Radiantu, and also our participants who attended our webinar today. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Hopefully, you all say no to stigma and come and reach out to us. Anyone nearby your services and environment. Okay, thank you. Take care. Good day, everyone.
And participants, can you please fill up the feedback form that I have already pinned in the chat box for you to get the e-certificate, and also please suggest to us any interesting topics that you want us to feature in these webinar sessions in coming times. Thank you once again, and bye.
And yes, thank you, and congratulations to the organizing committee. And I'm welcoming any feedbacks from any one of you all, and can text me or email me if you have any issues. Bye.
Yeah, I think the details like email address of Dr. Radiato is already there. So our friends here can actually capture the email, and also you can later on email to our specialist here. And once again, thank you to everyone, and thank you to Dr. Radiato.
Okay, bye-bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day. Thank you, Widu.
Thank you, Doctor.
We don't have good photo, right?